Hello, super families and super children. So, I don't know about you guys, but books are our favorite time during our bedtime routine. So, I figured today I would read you guys a story, and that way, on nights that mommies don't feel good or have sore throats, or you just want to do a little something different, I'm going to read a book to you tonight, and you can play the video again. Tonight we're reading The Tall Man in the Small House. Mouse. On a tall hill in a tall house lived a tall man and a small mouse. But the tall man never saw the mouse, and the mouse never saw the man in the house. What did the tall man do all day? Well, he did tall things that needed doing. He picked apples, untangled swings, whistled songs he couldn't sing, rescued cats and kites from trees, showed great care for many things. And what about the mouse? Well, by day she slept, and at night she crept to do small things that needed doing, like finding pins and pegs and corks, long sharp nails and long lost forks, a special pen, a silver ring, a watch, a coin, a shiny thing. Afterward, she'd crawl and creep to find a comfy place to sleep. And one day, the tall man went to fix the town's great clock. It had no tick, it had no tock. The tall man poked, he pulled and tied, prodded, shook, and then he cried, "If only I could get inside." The tall man tried and tried and tried. At last he said, "What can I do? I'll have to think up something new." And home he went without a clue. The tall man looked and looked through every page of every book, but he still didn't know how to fix the clock. That would not tick and would not talk. At the end of the long day, the tall man took off his long shoes, wiggled his long toes, and had a long snooze. Meanwhile, as the tall man slept, the small mouse crept and crept and crept. In the morning, the tall man dressed. He put on clothes that he liked best and was putting on his long shoes when the small mouse woke and squeak! The tall man had a peek. Eek! He said, "Oh my, I never knew a mouse was sleeping in my shoe." Then he saw all his missing things. The tall man's heart began to sing. "Mouse," he said, "you're clearly clever. Small and nimble, I wonder whether I may possibly borrow you. I've most important thing to do." Squeak, squeak, squeak. Down the tall hill from the tall house went the tall man and the small mouse. In the town's great square was the town's big clock, which would not tick and would not talk. The mouse was really very small, and in she went to creep and crawl, to search and find that broken thing for the man to fix so the clock could ding. But where would she find it, and where should she go? What did it look like? The mouse didn't know. She looked high and low, she looked here and there, she looked left and right, she looked everywhere. Till finally the small mouse saw the broken thing she was looking for. Squeak, squeak, squeak! The tall man heard the mouse and thought, "And she's so small and likes to find, and I'm so tall and like to fix. Together we're the perfect mix." He said, "And now it's time to try." So with a string, a cork, and a key, the man and the mouse fixed the clock. Yippee! The tall clock's bells began to ring, and both their hearts began to sing. The tall man said, "We may be two of a different kind, but both of us can fix and find. I'm your friend, and you are mine." Squeak, squeak, squeak. On a tall hill, in a tall house, lived a tall man and a small mouse. What do the two friends do all day? Well, come rain or shine, whatever the weather, they do the things that need doing together. I hope you enjoyed my story, and we rented this from the local library, and it is The Tall Man and the Small Mouse, and it's written by Mara Bergman. I hope you enjoyed our story. Have a good night.